Hey guys, it's Tom Bucks. Thanks for tuning into MST.TV. I've been working on Rokkets for some time now, and it is here. I've got a Rocket profile and 3 combos to go with it to adapt to Halqifibrax and my modded extra deck. For one of the combos, of course, I want to give shoutouts to Shunpingju, which a lot of this was based off of his build, but he would probably tell you how is he actually going to shove in a Halqifibrax and a Union carrier in there. Well, I found some way to kind of shove those cards in. It does cost me a little bit of my extra deck utility, but I think it's still well worth it because locking people out of their extra deck means that they can only play with their main deck to break your board, which is not that easy of a feat. If you don't run stuff like Lightning Storm in the main, you don't run stuff that are supposed to break someone's board in the main, you basically lose the die roll, lose the game, which is why I'm kind of focusing on that. And once you get to game 2 and 3, you can just alter it based off of your side deck to handle these situations. And this deck is full of boss monsters, which is what I really love about the deck. And Rockets, it's just so fun right now to play the deck. So I got, of course, a deck, main deck, extra deck, and 3 combos. And on top of those 3 things, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding notification bell to be notified whenever I come up with more crazy shenanigan decks like this one. And of course, shoutouts to Shunpingju. And let's get into this deck profile, guys. All right, into the deck profile. Remember, again, you guys can alter it to your own liking, especially if you want to alter your extra deck, then you're gonna have to tune this main deck to fit it. Starting off, triple Rocket Tracer, the main card of the deck, just lets you combo. It's a tuner, so also gives you access to your Halqifibrax. Then we have double Magna Rocket, and to fit some of this stuff, I actually had to cut one of these Magna Rockets out. A lot of this was based off of Shunpingju's build, so yeah, you can triple up if you want. And further removal is Silver Rocket. Since I am blocking my opponent out of the extra deck, I don't need as many copies, but I would recommend just maxing out if you can, or putting it to 2 at the very least. Then this is where it starts to change. We have double Rocket Synchron. Because it's a tuner, it can be summoned out. It's also a dragon, so because it's a dragon, you can summon out with a Halqifibrax as a tuner, and that gives you the extra dragon. So it gives you the arrow and the double arrow pointing that we are always looking for in the combo. Then triple Absolouter, because I have an Absolouter quick launch combo that I will show you guys. I am always a fan of this card because it can just special summon out of your hand, and it's a dark dragon that replenishes itself. Triple Seifert. Yeah, never gonna cut this card. Never gonna let you down. And I just almost rickrolled you guys. Yeah, it's just super important, like 1 card, 2 card combo, especially for the dark only combos. It's really useful. And of course they search into white or black dragon. This is just my little cheap spice, which is Gateway Dragon. I hated this card when I was pulling it, but it's a dark dragon, summons more dragons out of your hand. It could be useful. Or you can just max out on more rockets, so you can actually turn that into more silver rockets. I'm just testing it for now. Okay, into the baby dragons. We have 3 baby dragons. We have Black Metal Dragon, Omni Dragon Brotar, and we have Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. That's a tuner and a dragon. It's not a beast, it's not a spellcaster, it's a dragon. A lot of people think that each of those Dragon Buster cards or each of the Buster Destruction Sword, they represent each of their typing. So the Dragon Buster, dragon, tuner. So if you have no other targets, your Halqifibrax can summon this card out as your extra dragon, and you can turn it into LP Pisty. Brotar is more of a recovery play when you use a Hieratic Seal. And there's also Black Metal Dragon, which fetches you the Red Eyes as part of the combo, which is very nice. Although probably gonna lose out this part when Red Eyes gets into Red Eyes. And speaking of Red Eyes, now transforming them all into their bigger form. We have Red Eyes, Chaos Dragon Levianeer, searched by Brotar, and we have Galactic Spiral Dragon in case we want to go into, well, just the extra body for one thing, or you can go into a rank 8. You only have 1 rank 8, so it's just for that play specifically. But the body is also nice. Recursion's also pretty good. Just need 2 dark or light dragon to summon itself out in defense position from hand or graveyard, so it's a decent pitch for any of your costs that you're paying. Rip a card out of your opponent's hand if you open with it. Pretty sacky, and actually gives you the extra body so you can extend a little bit further. And Red Eyes is Red Eyes. I don't need to explain that. Errata coming, so combo will change once the errata comes because you can't abuse this part anymore. And as for hand traps, we have triple Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, because I don't think we're in too search heavy and to the point where we need Drone Lockbird, like spirals or like I guess mainly spirals, but you could still play Drone Lockbird instead because Drone Lockbird is very powerful. For now, I'm cutting stuff down, but this deck obviously has enough space to kind of alter for adapting to various metas. For spells, we have triple quick launch, your E-Tele for any of your rocket monsters. I think you can even sum up the level 7 one if you wanted to play a rank 7 deck, you can consider that, but we're not doing that. Just not once per turn, just can't attack. Remember, it cannot attack. A lot of people try to, we're going to time, well, quick launch attack per game. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And boot sector launch, because you need 2, 1 for recovering in case you draw into a top deck into it, or you can go into your second Striker Dragon to fetch it out, which is nice, and 1 Dragon Ravine as your last field spell because you could fetch it with Romulus. A lot of your combo recovers your resource because it keeps adding more and more cards to your hand. This is part of your extender package, 1 Monster Reborn and 2 World Legacy Guard Dragon. You could just play 3 World Legacy Guard Dragon because you really don't need that much revival from the grave to extend your combo, but it's nice to have. But the zone movement is probably one of the best things for World Legacy Guard Dragon. I get that we're in Master Rule 5, Master Rule 2020 revision. We don't have to maintain our zone as hard, but it's nice to be able to actually just shift something over and you don't have to link stuff off just so that you can open your zones for LP, Pisty, or something along those lines. So yeah, it's pretty decent. In fact, zone management is still important for this deck. As for dumping stuff to the graveyard, 1 Dragon Shrine, 1 Foolish Burial, Abzu Router, or maybe Galactic Spiral Bulge or Spiral Dragon, and triple Call by the Grave. That's it. I want to go for a quick explanation. If you want a deeper explanation about the card interaction, I would check out Shinping Zhu's UDS profile. This is highly reliant on his particular build. This is just tuned to, I don't know, a more casual play, I guess. For the extra deck, let's start off with the main monster here. Striker Dragons. I need a 3rd one, but I don't know how to fit it because the extra deck is so tight to the point that maybe you have to cut one of the engine. You have to cut one of the play styles in here to fit the card. But anyways, yeah, I'm proxying one right now because I cannot go out there. It's too dangerous to go out there and acquire one. So we'll proxy one for now. If you guys can afford one, go ahead and purchase it. It's quite hard to find right now, even online. Hopefully the price doesn't spike up, but you need to play at least 2 copies at the very least, as the combos are going to demonstrate. A 3rd copy will give you that safety net. Just summon a dragon and soul charge your opponent. So yeah, it's very important to have a lot of copies of these. Then we have LP and Pisty, Guard Dragon combo stuff. Summon from hand and deck, summon from grave and banish. All right, this is the more techie line of the package. We have Link 2s. Delindrous Dragon, summon itself whenever a rocket is special summoned from anywhere, and then it summons itself from the graveyard. Hieratic Seal to dodge Nibiru, so yeah, you can add a Nibiru yourself if you have it in your side deck. And it also summons out Brotar. You can get Chaos Dragon Levianeer, so that's really good follow-up play. And Romulus lets you continue your combo by using Dragon Ravine and adding Dragon Ravine to your hand. To our next part of our Link 2s, we have Quad Boral Dragon, Crystron Halqifibrax, and we have Union Carrier. This is really useful to pop any Link monster to just revive a bunch of rocket monsters and potentially kill your opponent. Your deck is full of boss monsters. The remaining 5 cards in my hand, they're all bosses. Crystron Halqifibrax. This is nice to summon out a Dragon Tuner. I know that we don't have Glow Up Bulb, we don't have Steam the Cloak, but you can still summon out dragons, which means this can open up your arrows and give you the appropriate number of dragon monsters to play with, as long as it's a tuner and the deck naturally has Rocket Synchron in the deck. You actually have to run 2 Rocket Synchrons sometimes in case you want to save your Dragon Buster Sword. Remember, your Dragon Buster Sword is also a tuner. So if you run out of Rocket Synchrons, whatever gets ripped out of your hand, you can still summon that, and you just don't end on a Union Carrier to lock your opponent out. And you're playing Union Carrier because you can boost the attack of your monster and lock your opponent out of the extra deck. Or you can actually also equip Abzu Router, and when you get rid of your monster, Abzu Router will fetch you another dragon. That's another way that you can play with Union Carrier. So there's a lot of flexibility with Union Carrier. And then bosses for Link 4s, we have Borosaur Dragon. It's a pretty obvious choice. And Unchained Abomination if you get locked into darks, or you have 2 extra weaklings that you want to link off, then this is your ideal choice. And this works well with rocket monsters, because rocket monsters, especially Tracer, can pop itself to trigger this pop, giving you something for Borosaur to target, and that will pop and get rid of more stuff. That's more or less how it works. Force is still your OTK, one of your OTK abilities or win cons. As for the remainder, now we have 2 synchros: Borreload Savage, Negation, Omni Negate, Draco Berserker, Big Swing, and also can banish whenever your opponent's effect activates, which is pretty useful, especially stuff that activates in the graveyard. And there is Hope Harbinger. If you want to cut the rank up package or the Exceeds package or the synchro, you can do so. You can cut stuff down to maximize on more synchro. You can put Void Ogre plus, or rather Scarlet Dragon plus a Hot Red. And if you do that, it'll probably run Jet Synchron. O-Line and Jet Synchron are probably the best two tuners right now. And I guess there's also a copy of Recover that you can also use, but Recover costs you life points. And if you're locked into Darks, maybe not so much, or if you're locked into Dragons, they're not very effective. But either way, those are options that you can try out to alter this deck. Of course, this is just a foundation for you guys to start somewhere and to learn about Rockets, because Rockets, I still believe, are really, really powerful, and they, as you can see, it's really, really aggressive. And all right, let's start off with some combos, especially some that involve Christian Halqifibrax, that maybe is still pretty good. Okay, let's start off with one of the better combos that require very few resources, 2 cards to set up multiple negations and also lock your opponent out of the extra deck and also threaten their board at the same time and lethal. And it only involves a quick launch and an Absoluter Dragon, and we want to use this. Any of the other cards can be extenders. I don't think we even need to pay too much of a discard cost. It is self-contained. To kick this combo off, let's start off with the quick launch. So we activate the quick launch and we go ahead and summon out a tuner. I think Rocket Tracer is the best one. In fact, it should be Rocket Tracer because you'll be utilizing your Rocket Tracer later on. Special summon out the Absoluter Dragon in defense mode, and then we go proceed to link summon into Christian Halqifibrax. And with that, we have 2 chain links. We have chain link 1, chain link 2. We have Absoluter, and we have a summon of the tuner, and we're gonna get our Rocket Synchron, and we're gonna get ourselves a search of the Magna Rocket Dragon. We haven't normal summon yet, so we're gonna get a different name just in case our boot sector launch gets a little bit better later on. We're gonna normal summon out the Magna Rocket, and we got 2 dragons and double arrows, and that means we can set it up for our Guard Dragon LP, and this is going to set up our Striker Dragon. We can go ahead and activate the Striker Dragon, add the boot sector launch, LP's effect. We're going to special summon out Metal Rocket Dragon, and now with Metal Rocket Dragon on the field, Striker Dragon effect activate, add back the Rocket Tracer and pop itself. This is now going to link into the graveyard, and we're going to go into Pisty. With Pisty, we're kind of locked in, right? But not really. Metal Dragon's effect is going to activate, and we are going to add Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon to our hand. So these are all cards that we add to our hand, and Boot Sector Launch can still be used and special summon out Rocket Tracer, but we're going to use Rocket Tracer more likely to pay a cost later on. Now we're going to banish the Guard Dragon LP, special summon out the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. And Red Eyes Darkness Metal, the initial summon might as well just burn an effect right here. Just summon out a dragon and just link them off right now into Delingerous Dragon. Now, Pisty's effect hasn't activated, so we're going to use Pisty to revive the Red Eyes Darkness Metal. This part of the combo will change once we get the errated version of Red Eyes Darkness Metal, as the effect to summon from grave is going to become once per turn. That's going to be affecting this combo a little bit at the very least. And from here, we can go ahead and just link these 2 off. Since they're both dragons, we can unlock ourselves from dragons. We haven't even gone into our Dragunity Knight Romulus. Romulus is going to activate, adding us a Dragon Ravine. Now at this point, let's kind of activate this Dragon Ravine. We're going to use the effect Ravine and throw the Rocket Tracer into the graveyard, which we will revive with Red Eyes Darkness Metal very soon. But what do we toss into the graveyard, you may ask? We're going to toss in our favorite Galactic Spiral Dragon. Now, you could have used Boot Sector Launch to summon out the card right away, but I think you guys can explore that path as well. Now we're going to use Red Eyes Darkness Metal, special summon out Rocket Tracer, and that effect is going to, that summon is going to trigger our Delingerous Dragon, special summoning that one out onto the field. And with 2 or more Dark Dragons, we can special summon out Galactic Spiral Bulge or Spiral Dragon onto the field as well. Now we're holding a Boot Sector Launch. And with this, we have access to basically everything that we need. And so we want to set up the multiple negates as well. But first off, let's get the Union Carrier onto the field. That opens up a zone into the middle. well, I guess the zoning doesn't matter, but this could have been performed in the previous list as well, or the previous master rule. And then we're going to use Galactic Spiral Dragon's effect to turn everything into 8. Yes, this is also an 8 right now, but you're going to get rid of it very shortly. And we're going to start off, oh, this is now banished, by the way. And we're going to go into this, and we're going to rank up into Hope Harbinger. We're going to activate Union Carrier now. Union Carrier's effect, we're going to equip the Dragon Buster Sword onto the Hope Harbinger because it is also a dragon, so as long as you match the type or attribute, you can get that. Now with Rocket Tracer level 8, this is not going to work out right now, and the Union Carrier on the field is kind of a liability. I get that you can redirect the attack, but why don't we just go ahead and use Rocket Tracer's effect, pop the Dragon Ravine, okay? And now that we pop the Dragon Ravine, we're going to summon out another rocket monster, another Magna Rocket or any level 4 rocket, and we'll just go ahead and just link it off right now into a Quad Boral. With the Quad Boral right here, we're going to activate the effect of Quad Boral, and we're going to target the Union Carrier, pop the Union Carrier. We're going to keep the Boot Sector launch because it provides us with a really good soul charge later on. We've got Rocket Tracer, Magna Rocket. You can even get all the names out. Technically, you can get all 4 names out, and then we also have a Rocket Synchron, so we've got a pretty big graveyard. And we're going to pop that, and we're going to special summon out 2 cards. So we're going to special summon out Rocket and Rocket. Now it's level 4 again, and while we have it all set up once again, Synchro Summon now. And we're going to summon out the Overload Savage. With the Overload Savage now, we can go ahead and attach ourselves. I guess there's only really one good target in here, and that's going to be the Dragunity Knight. And now that we're not locked into any kind of link, we can go ahead and get rid of that and go into the Unchained Abomination. And that's how you really extend in. If finishing hand, still 3 cards left in your hand. Overall, a very powerful combo. Redirecting attacks is fine. This card probably should be put in defense mode just in case. And with Boot Sector launch, if anything actually does die, well, during the end phase, you get to pop a card, you get an Omni Negate and Spell Absorption Negate, and you lock them out of the extra deck. So you got three forms of interaction or disruption right here, and 1 end phase disruption right there. If anything of yours gets destroyed, hopefully not this one first, you get another pop. So that's kind of the ideal situation. You have pretty low cost in terms of what you're actually setting up. Like you turn 2 cards into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you're really controlling here. Combo number 2 is a tribute to Shinping Zhu's 1.5 cards Seifert combo, but I don't run Triple Burst Dragon, so this is where it's gonna alter a little, and the end board can vary depending on the matchup that you're playing. So to start things off, we have Starleech Seifert. Normal summon out this card and send it to the graveyard to add Black Dragon to your hand. So Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, we're going to banish our light monster, and we're going to summon out this card. Now we're going to link this card off and summon out our Striker Dragon effect, and our Black Dragon effect. Probably want to do Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, because the field spell is kind of useless if you don't have the monster, so you want to make sure you block that one off, and to get these 2 to our hand. This side will be the stuff that was originally in our hand, and this side will be the new stuff. And you can do quite a lot here. So special summon out the White Dragon by banishing the Black Dragon. And we're going to link both of these off and summon out our Romulus, the Dragunity Knight. Here it is. Romulus' effect is going to activate, and that's going to fetch us from the deck our Dragon's Ravine. Dragon's Ravine activate to send one of the extra cards that we have in our hand, and we can fetch into the graveyard an Absorouter. Absorouter is going to add our Rocket Tracer to our hand. And now we're going to get rid of this. This is a dark only combo from this point on. So we will not have access to Crystron, nor will we have access to, of course, locking out our opponent with Union Carrier. So we're going to special summon it onto the field. And now we're going to use Rocket Tracer's effect, pop it off. So if we're going first, then we're going to do the Silver Rocket. And from here, we're going to link them both off. Well, it doesn't really matter, but we're going to link them both off. First one into, of course, our favorite Guard Dragon, LP, and then we're gonna also send the other one for Striker Dragon, giving us the double arrow right here. And from the double arrow, we're going to activate the LP, summon out Metal, the most metal dragon of them all. And we're gonna use Striker Dragon's effect now, and we're going to destroy itself to add back the Rocket Tracer. because you're just gonna have to add something back to your hand anyway with this. Okay, so from here, we're going to link this monster off into Guard Dragon Pisty into the middle zone, because Black Metal Dragon's effect is going to go off and add Red Eyes Darkness Metal. You could technically Ash this part. It's pretty brutal because now you're kind of locked out, but if you run the right amount of monsters, you could probably link a couple of these guys off for a dragon. You can still go into like a Boral Sword Dragon at the very least. Anyways, continuing the combo, we're going to banish the Guard Dragon LP and special summon out the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Using Red Eyes Darkness Metal's effect, special summon out the Black Metal Dragon, or any dragon for that matter. Just don't get crowed, just don't you don't declare a target, so they can't really chain. So then you just summon on resolution. Now you go into Delindrous Dragon, into that far zone. Use Pisty's effect, special summon out your Red Eyes Darkness Metal into the double arrow zone right in the middle. And from here, you got to make a choice. You have to use Red Eyes Darkness Metal's effect. You have to special summon out the Rocket monster. You have to summon out Rocket or else you'll be stuck. Under the Pisty, you're going to be locked under something. You need access to Fiends, and therefore right now you can only summon out Dragons. You would probably right now, because you can't even do link summons because you have no arrows, you have to get rid of the Red Eyes Darkness Metal, and this is where you summon out your Quad Boral. And Quad Boral, we're going to activate the effect, target the Delindrous Dragon. We're going to pop the Delindrous Dragon, and because it was a link monster, we're going to summon out 2 Rockets. And remember that Silver Rocket, so we summon out the Silver Rocket and the Rocket Tracer. And since you summoned out Rocket monsters, Delindrous summons itself back onto the field, as if the field never really even changed. Now, Pisty is still out on the field, and we want to go into an Abomination. We're probably not going to go into a Synchro play in this one, unless, of course, your opponent does not have an extra deck. Then you would do the Synchro plays instead because you want the negation. Otherwise, you can rip their extra deck apart and try to get as much interruption against your opponent as possible. In that regard, we're going to do this. We're going to link off. We need to open up some zones first, and we need to get rid of this Pisty. So we're going to take the Pisty, the Quad Boral, and the Tracer, and we're going to link that into a Boral Sword. Leave this in attack. It's important that this is in attack position, by the way. And now that we're not locked into dragons anymore, we can go ahead and summon out our Unchained Abomination. And to get some effects off, to rip your opponent's extra deck off right now, we can go ahead and activate Boral Sword Dragon, target the Silver Rocket. Silver Rocket's effect is going to activate, destroying itself, and you can look at your opponent's deck and take away whatever Super Poly target that they may have for you, or if they don't run Super Poly, take away one of their key monsters in their extra deck and banish it. During the end phase, Silver Rocket's going to activate, and you're going to summon back your Rocket Tracer onto the field. Rocket Tracer is important because it gives you another level of disruption, because if anything gets destroyed, since Rocket Tracer does destroy, you get to pop a card on your opponent's side of the field. And then you summon out another monster because it was Rocket Tracer after all. You can probably summon out a Magna Rocket so that you can send one of your opponent's monsters to the graveyard by activating Boral Sword, targeting this monster, activating the effect, and send their monster to the graveyard. It's non-targeting, so it's very flexible. So that was the Seifert combo. Although it's not as strong as locking your opponent out, not letting them play, but this is still pretty strong as you still have 3 cards left in your hand. Okay, last combo I'm going to show to you guys is a handful of Rockets. It's bound to happen at some point, and since we don't have Glow Bulb or Steam the Cloak, Needle Fiber doesn't exactly give us the most ideal of tuners to summon out, but hey, you can still utilize it to unbrick some of your hands. Although a handful of Rockets is usually not bad either. Now, starting off with the normal summon, we're going to summon out Magna Rocket. And we want to maintain at least 1 tuner in our hand for this part. And we're going to link it off into Striker Dragon. Yes, it's that same proxy copy that you guys probably hate seeing already. And we're going to activate Striker Dragon's effect, and that is going to add to our hand a Boot Sector Launch. With the Boot Sector Launch, we're going to activate it right now, and we're going to summon out both our monsters in our hand. So you need at least 2 dragons to do this. The reason why a bunch of Rockets doesn't hurt is mainly because when you go into Crystron Halqifibrax, it doesn't hurt you that much anymore because you'll maintain 2 dragons at the end. So synchro with a, or not synchro, but a link with a tuner plus a non-tuner, we go into Crystron Halqifibrax, and effect, we're going to summon out a dragon onto the field. That is a tuner. So now that we have a tuner that's summoned out onto the field, the only thing that I can't do with this card is activate its effect, but we don't care because we only care about the name. So we'll go into LP, and now we go into Striker Dragon. And LP effect, we're going to activate it, summon out the Black Metal Dragon. If you already have black metal, then that's too bad. Go for red eyes, I suppose. It's not really ideal. Hopefully you don't have this because it would break you, or you summon it from your hand. Either way, it still works. And now we're gonna activate Striker Dragon, add back the Rocket Tracer to your hand by destroying itself, giving you the zone to link into a Pisty. And this is going to activate the Black Metal Dragon, so you're gonna add the Red Eyes Darkness Metal to your hand. All right, and from here, we're gonna banish the LP. This is such a good ideal banish target, and okay. With the Red Eyes Darkness Metal, activates effect, summon whatever dragon you want, and then just link it off. 2 darks, preferably a dark dragon. Don't summon random dragons that aren't dark into the Delindrous Dragon. Activate Pisty's effect now to summon back our Red Eyes Darkness Metal. And from here, we're going to get rid of these 2. Since they're both dragons, I can definitely just use these 2 and just go into our Romulus. Romulus effect is going to fetch us a Dragon Ravine. And we're going to activate our Dragon Ravine, throw the Tracer into the graveyard, just so that we can set up our Galactic Spiral Dragon. Now we're going to use Red Eyes Darkness Metal's effect, summon back the Rocket Tracer, and with that Rocket Tracer, that's going to trigger our Delindrous Dragon and special summon that onto the field. And with multiple Dark Dragons on the field, we can activate Galactic Spiral Dragon and special summon it in defense mode from our graveyard. Wow, we just loaded our field completely, and also we're not locked into darks. Go ahead and make Appaloosa, why not? In any case, from here, this is where it gets a little bit more funky, because we're gonna change all our levels now into 8. This one doesn't matter because we're gonna summon this card back later on anyway, and these 2 are gonna get linked together. And when they get linked together, sorry, not linked together, overlay into Hope Harbinger. These 2, because they're both dragons, I can go into Union Carrier. This one will get banished, and we're gonna lock our opponent out from the extra deck. Activate the Union Carrier, target the Hope Harbinger, and we're gonna equip with the sword, so that now they have no extra deck, because we love letting people play Yu-Gi-Oh! This card can't be linked off, so it's kind of awkward with these 2. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use Rocket Tracer, pop the Dragon Ravine, summon out Magna Rocket. And now that we've summoned out Magna Rocket, we can link it into Quad Boral. Quad Boral effect, we're going to pop that Union Carrier. So we're going to pop the card, pop the Union Carrier, and we're going to summon back our Rocket Tracer and our Magna Rocket. Therefore, they're level 4 again. Now we can go ahead and synchro them off and make ourselves a Borreload Savage. Savage effect, of course, we're going to take our Draconidae Romulus and equip it, giving us additional 600 attack and an Omni Negate. And now we can get rid of these 2. Although we don't really have to. If you want to maintain these 2 on the field, by all means do so. I'm not going to stop you. But in any case, you can also go into the Unchained Abomination. And there you have it. This is just a handful of rockets locking your opponent out of the extra deck. And zoom zoom, they have Omni Negate and you get the pop stuff. Usage Hunt drove by just now. And that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got for this video, guys. Man, I don't know how you guys are getting your haircuts, because obviously you can't go and get a haircut right now, so my hair's just gonna grow longer and longer for the time being. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV, hit the subscribe, ding notification bell so I don't send your stuff to the Shadow Realm. And aside from that, oh right, I'm gonna be trying to do live duels in the coming session. I've been teaching someone to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In the household. And let's see how that goes. It'll be very interesting to get some live games out there once again. But yeah, stay tuned for that. It's going to involve some of the decks I've showcased so far. So if you want to see Necroface in action, it's very likely you're going to see that. And yeah, that's all I got. So until next time, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you guys in the next one.